The country was super excited about Powerball winnings, the possibility of becoming a billionaire in the US. Well, 3 people are likely to collect their winnings. Apparently, 3 people bought winning tickets. And I want to rain on their parade by telling them that they're likely to be miserable with the money that they've won. Okay, now I'm a downer. The winners of the $1.3 billion pot are from California, Florida, and Tennessee. But it's important to remember that even though we've been told over and over again that money can't buy you happiness, it's actually true. There are countless instances of people who have won millions of dollars, sometimes tens of millions of dollars, and then they're miserable afterwards, okay? So this is basically a way to make everyone feel better about the fact that they didn't win. All right, so the National Endowment for Financial Education estimates that as much as 70% of people who are abruptly flooded with cash lose all the money within several years. So here's what typically happens with these lotteries. And it's one of the reasons why I'm not really in favor of lotteries at all. So the poorest people get convinced that, hey, you know, there's a possibility that you can be really, really wealthy, so buy a ticket, buy a ticket. And a lot of people who have no business buying that ticket, right, who can't really lose all that money, will end up doing it anyway, and then sometimes a poor person wins, someone who is disadvantaged and needs the money. But they don't have a support system, they might not have a financial advisor, someone who helps them manage that money. And so all of a sudden family members that they haven't talked to in decades come around, they're like, hey, what's up, you know, I think I have cancer, you want to help me out?
I'll buy your cancer off, I'll bribe your cancer into leaving your body.
So there's one thing that happens, but then also people will spend the money on frivolous things instead of invest it. So let me give you some more details.
Like fun stuff, fun things.
Like drugs and alcohol. Not all of them, but there have been cases of people who buy drugs and they get addicted to things, or they spend their money on stupid things like jets or cars. So a British study found that 44% of lottery winners' earnings were spent after only 5 years. Another of Florida lottery winners who netted up to $150,000, which isn't that much when you think of the grand scheme of things.
$150,000 in Florida is like $1 billion, though.
Yeah, like in LA. By housing standards, truly
like if you're in Tallahassee and you just came across $150,000, like you
can buy a house. But
I
that's
get
the
it.
thing is like people, yeah, but I know what you're getting at,
It's
which is like
not $1.5 billion. $105 million.
I'm joking.
That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so let's continue with
it's
that.
like 2 of Haas's jackets you can afford for 150 grand.
So, true. Lottery winners who netted up to $150,000 found that about 1% went bankrupt in any given year, about twice the rate of the general population. And while those who got larger pots didn't tend to go bankrupt as quickly, it still ended up catching up to them. Okay, so let's fast forward to 2008. There was another study that found that 6 months after winning the lottery, people were actually no more happier than those who didn't win.
This is ridiculous. I'm sorry,
no,
but
it's not, and I'll tell you why. Continue.
Go on.
Why do you think it's ridiculous?
I just looked at the study and it and the wording. Oh no, I was thinking about the 1978 study, which is the exact same as the one that you were referencing, where they're talking about randomly selected people and even took significantly less pleasure in everyday happiness, such as talking to a friend or receiving a compliment. Like how are they measuring how happy this person is? Like happiness studies are usually a little wonky when it comes to like accurately measuring happiness.
Right,
Yes.
but that's one of many studies that have like delved into this issue. So how much money do you need to make on a yearly basis in order to be happy? And when does it plateau? When does your happiness
What's
plateau?
your initial offer?
And
What's
when does
the
the
offer?
happiness taper off? There was a study that indicated that $75,000 is where you hit that plateau. And then after that, it just kind of starts to fade.
See, here's the thing.
$75,000 in Los Angeles again is like
Is not much in LA. It depends on the city you live in.
It's like $920 million. I forget your initial math.
in Florida.
Whatever the exchange rate is to Florida dollars.
So let me give you guys some examples of people who did win a lot of money and unfortunately it didn't work out for them. So Jack Whitaker won $315 million in the Powerball back in 2002. That was the largest jackpot won by a single person at the time. His construction company, though, was flooded with lawsuits right afterwards, and that cost him $3 million to fight. He repeatedly had large sums of money stolen, and his granddaughter spent her share on drugs, and unfortunately she died back in 2004. My granddaughter is dead because of the money, he said.
What did he put the money under his pillow? Like how do you get money stolen nowadays? It's like I feel like you would put it in the bank or something.
It happens all
Identity
the time.
theft, Haas?
Yo, so you think someone stole his identity?
Here's the thing: is I totally get it, and I get that people, as soon as they hear that you have money, are like, "Can I please have some of that?" And you want to give it to them because you don't want them to think that you're a jerk. You want to be generous, and having money is a skill.
It is.
Dealing with the money you have is a skill, like anybody. Even if you have $15, you have to know how to manage that.
Yes.
And it's just, it's unfortunate that people who get this influx of money go and feel that they should spend it. It seems like an unending sum of cash, and they go try to buy the things they've always wanted. But over the course of your life, you could want a lot of things.
Yes.
You can't have it all. You need someone to sit you aside and say, listen, here's how we're going to insulate you from the law. Here's how we're going to insulate you from people coming in, or, against lawsuits. And here's how we're going to insulate you from you doing harm to yourself. If you make $315 million, yeah, go buy a house. Realize that you need upkeep on that
multiple
house.
houses.
No, go
and
buy one
possibly-
house. You should just buy one house and live in it, and that's it. And put your
No
money
real
aside
estate.
and have someone tell you how much interest you're going to make, and that's your salary.
So the thing that I want you guys to take away from this is, look, when you're in a terrible financial situation, it's really hard to buy into the notion that a tremendous amount of money isn't going to make you happy, right? But also, I love the place I'm in right now. I complain about the fact that I can't own a home yet. I complain about the fact that I'm not making as much as I wish I could make. Right?
Jank.
However,
All Jank's fault.
I'm comfortable and I'm happy and I'm in a good place, right? And I think a lot of people in the country are in a good place and they're still seeking to become millionaires, right? And that's not the end all be all. That's not going to be your ticket to happiness. There's so many things around us that money can't buy that we need to appreciate.
Yeah.
And yes, I know there are unfortunate people out there who don't even have that. But for the vast majority of people who are out there buying those lotto tickets wanting to be the billionaire,
Like my
just count
grandfather.
your blessings. There are great things happening in everyone's life, and
Right. Statistically, buying a lottery
Yeah.
ticket is a tax. And
It
it's
is,
a
that's-
regressive
And
tax
they-
on the
and they
poor
also-
because they
yeah.
have less money in their pocket. So every
poor tax.
dollar they spend is a larger percentage of their overall worth. And statistically, they are not going to get it back. The odds are effectively zero that you will win any money, so you're just giving it to that. The only positive side of a lottery is that a lot of that cash is earmarked towards things like education. The money goes towards someplace. But in a national lottery like Powerball, it's harder because all the states are fighting over that.
Exactly.
Less of any given dollar is really going back to a place near your house to help you.